Hey everybody, Tyler and Rachel here with Big TV. After our 2-1 win here in Charlotte, and in this video we are going to be giving you our player ratings fresh after the game. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more Nashville SC content just like this. A good win today. Really impressive win, I think. A bounce back after 2 games without scoring, and definitely a step in the right direction before we go down to Club America on Tuesday. I think the thing that stood out to me today was that obviously BJ Callahan wants us to wants us to win probably this competition that we're in the Champions Cup, because we didn't start the first team, but I thought the players that we had were really good.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I think the players really gelled together, maybe because they had something to prove, but we can talk about that as we rate them.
Yeah. Okay. Brian Schwacke.
Yes. I am going to give him, I really wanted to give him an 8, but I think I have to give him a 7. He, at the beginning, made a it didn't become a big error because the ball didn't go in. He managed to kind of sweep it off the line, but very early on, he almost let something go in that shouldn't have gone in. So I think, but maybe that woke him up. We were very grateful that nothing happened. He made some incredible saves. Obviously, notably, the penalty save was brilliant, well read. We know that he's capable of doing it, so that was awesome. But unfortunately, then he gave one away, which he then had to save and was unable to do so. So that was probably one of the biggest errors of the night, to be honest.
I think it was probably a big threat at that point, because the team, Charlotte, I mean, all the fans around us were really dejected, and literally they were just making Mexican waves and doing anything they could to enjoy the evening.
Yeah.
Just not really doing anything that was. Yeah. They were seeing nothing, and I think rather than see the game out, Lovitz had also. I think if it would have been given as a Lovitz foul if Schwacke didn't then make the foul himself, but he throws away his own clean sheet. And then leaves that last couple of minutes open to let them back in, and the stadium starts rocking and the energy there.
Well, and there were 9 minutes of added time too. So it wasn't just, that's happened at 88 minutes or something like that, and then we've only got to play 4 more. We had to then play another 10, which was difficult. But, they kept it. They were able to see it out, so it was great. But, yeah, that was a big mistake.
So 7.
Yes.
Nice. I'm going to do Josh Bauer. I thought he was quite impressive today. I really liked his efforts. I do think his concentration, I think I see it with both fullbacks, both our second choice fullbacks now, Lovitz and Bauer. I think as it gets towards the end of the game, they lose a little bit of concentration and energy, and sometimes the balls that they play really nicely and neatly at the start of the game aren't there. Maybe it's fitness levels and stuff, just not quite there, so they're not playing 90 minutes regularly. But I think he was really great in the air. I think that's the biggest thing. He was really great in the air, and we saw more of that defensive work in the air than we see within a half, for instance. But I then think there were times when maybe it would have been better to have taken him off at the end of the game.
I agree.
When I think we could have had more control of the game if Andy was there. He was having to do a lot of playmaking and sort of recovering the ball and then trying to place it somewhere nicely. And I think that dropped off as the game went on. He looked really good at that in the first half, but not so much in the second half. But I think it's a really good performance. I think he also was a threat from corners potentially as well, and he just got himself around physically quite nicely. So I give him a 7.
Sounds good.
Nice. Okay. Jack Mayer.
He played really well, I think, this evening. It was interesting. We had talked about it at the beginning that we weren't sure if Palacios and Wolechi were going to play together. You had mentioned that you thought actually in your predicted 11 that it was going to be Bauer and not. Who am I talking? No, it was going to be Mayer. Those names interchangeable, I swear. They were going to be. It was going to be Mayer instead of Palacios, which you were correct. But I think they played really well together. I think maybe he has a point to prove because he isn't starting anymore, and he's not coming. Sometimes he doesn't even come on the pitch very much. So
most of the time he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he played really well. I don't think he did anything particularly badly that I can remember. Maybe you can remember something where he...
No, I think he's good. I think there was maybe a couple of times where he maybe slightly miscontrolled the ball, but generally looked pretty good, and I think shepherded players out well. I think you've got to kind of remember that he and Palacios were the starting centre-backs last year. So they really are kind of a similar level, I think, in general. They're not too far away anyway. Maybe Palacios is slightly stronger, but I don't know. I don't mind, actually. I think he's maybe slightly more athletic, Palacios, but I think they're... I didn't mind it. I called it this earlier.
Yeah, no, they communicated really well together. They held strong when they were passing the ball around. They were getting pressure from the Charlotte forwards, and they didn't really give too many of those away. So that was really good. So I think a solid 7.
Yeah, 7 sounds good. Wolechi, I think Wolechi was really good today. I think he gets a 9 for me. He was kind of our playmaker as well as our central defender. I mean, the number of times he dummied or just managed to find a little space in between. He's really good with the ball at his feet, and he was finding space, in between their strikers and things, and just making them look silly basically all night. So, really good performance. I probably would have given him as a man of the match, but it's not obvious. We know Eddie's a fan favourite. As soon as his name's on the could he be man of the match, he's getting extra votes just because of his, who he is.
Apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I think Waleji looked really good and shepherded players out. He did really well with that ball in the first half. He managed to toe the line as well. I can't remember if he did get a yellow in the end.
I'm not sure he did.
No, but he looked close to it, but he did a really good job of not getting it. And controlling himself for the rest of the game. He was quite kind of push heavy at the start into the back of the strikers. So he gets a 9 for me. Really good, great playing with the ball. His passing stats must be pretty good today. His run stats, his dribbles completed must be high as well. So I'd be interested to see his FOT mob score. It probably is quite high because he did a lot of great work just controlling the ball, dribbling, and having a player at the back that can run into midfield and then give the ball away causes problems. Too many players to deal with. Lovitz on the left hand side.
Yes, I actually think Lovitz did relatively well today. He was
good.
able to keep up with the other players and communicate really well with getting that distributed ball out to the left-hand side. I think he actually stretched our play when we were in attack, which I thought was really, really nice. There were a couple of really great balls from the right-hand side, defensively and midfield, to Lovitz, who was the only person on the left-hand side. And I think he was really able to kind of see where the Charlotte players weren't drawing and kind of defending, and then drive down the line, and then be able to pass the ball into an Eddie or a Yazbek or cross the ball. So that was really nice to see. But you can tell that after not very long, his form does start to drop a little bit. So even I think at about half an hour, 35 minutes, he's tired. He makes a few little errors, but overall, he played really well.
Yeah, I think similar to, I didn't mention this in Josh's, but there was one point where he went to take a touch and just dribbled it out slightly and stuff like that. It's just a sort of heavy touch kind of thing. I think Lovitz did a similar thing on the other side.
Yeah, he did.
But I thought he was very good, and I think he did a lot of crossing. Didn't maybe come out with anything. Was it one of the crosses that then led back to Eddie's goal or something like that? Possibly. But he looked dangerous down that side every time he got the ball. Really. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Give him a 7.
7. Also gets 7. Nice. Okay, Eddie next. I'm going to give Eddie I give him an 8. I don't think he's a man of the match. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I wasn't watching it. I won some nice headers at points, to be fair. I mean, the goal was the big talking point. Yeah. That changes the course of the game. Great strike. Great finish. I think it's his first goal for the club.
Apparently.
Weirdly.
I'm surprised by that.
I feel like I've seen him score one other in the cup. Maybe it was MLS. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's very technical. He does have the technical ability. Yeah. Coming through the Liverpool Academy and stuff like that. So he does have that in his locker, I think. Just needs to maybe use it a little bit more often. Good strike, but other than that, I didn't see a ton. I won some headers up. There were times where he won balls in the air that I didn't think he'd win. Yeah. Just good jumping, good everything. But yeah, I give him an 8. Yazbek?
I think Yazbek always plays pretty well. I do like whenever it's Eddie or Corcoran on the pitch, you've got to have Yazbek on the pitch. He's kind of the player that you feel confident he's in the midfield, but also when you're in possession of the ball and you're holding it, especially at the beginning of that match, we wanted to control the ball. I think that was something that BJ was probably talking to them about. Let's control the ball and build slowly. We don't have to go all guns blazing straight away. And he would come back and be kind of the fifth man in defence, which I really liked. I think he's very confident on the ball. He's very good at distributing the ball in different areas of field. And the goal was great. I mean, I know it took a deflection, I think, off Reem.
Reem's hand, yeah.
Yeah. But it was a brilliant goal. It was great to celebrate that and see him do that. Haven't think he seemed really wanted one. He was really, really pushing towards doing that. But every play that he made, I think everybody makes a couple of mistakes, but he tracks back. He always distributes the ball well. So I think an 8.
Yeah, I say 8. Yeah. Definitely with the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Eddie an 8. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, I think Yazbek probably did more. I could be swayed into a 9 if it needed to be. Like it's the same kind of run he made in the Open Cup when he scored for that goal. Just runs into the space. Just looks good. Just looks so good.
Arguably, my man of the match, I think.
Yeah. Possibly. We'll have to decide at the end of this. Next we have Muil. Andy Muil. good game today.
Yeah.
Solid game.
Yeah.
I think he does help with the way the ball transition and flows. I would say he is. Yeah, I think he's actually quite important. I think he's improved dramatically compared to how he looked at the start of the year. I think he's worked out, got into what the flow is and what he's meant to be doing. I don't think he ever wants to be the one with the ball, in front of goal. Sometimes he ends up with that.
Yeah.
I think he always wants to give it away in that position, which is fine. But I think he's a really important cog. He makes things work, makes things tick. Unfortunate to come off with that injury. I don't know what it was, but he obviously was limping badly and barely able to stand on it. So hopefully it's nothing terrible. But I'm going to give him a 7. Okay, next, Madrigal.
Yes, I struggle with Madrigal a little bit. I think when he first came in, the first couple of games he played, definitely at home, he had that real energy of wanting to come down the left-hand side and cross the ball in. And he did some, I guess, with the idea that Sam, Hani would get their head on it. And now I just don't know if that's his place in the team. However, I do think that with this team today, he was able to kind of find his feet a little bit more. He's definitely really desperate to score, and I kind of really want him to score because of that. He's really pushing all the time. He's calling for the ball. He's making these runs because he really wants to do it. So that's an awesome motivator, and I think that will do him really well in this team if he just continues to do it. But unfortunately, we just didn't really see that from him today. So I'd probably give him a 6, to be honest. He didn't do anything badly, but he wasn't kind of outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I can do Kasim. I think Kasim, I saw a post on X, I think. It was doing him very dirty, saying, what does he do? I think he showed tonight what he does. Definitely turned around and showed us exactly what he can do. I thought he was pretty much essential in pretty much every play that was good. His passing inside was great. He beat men. He came back and he won the ball when he needed to. He really made big challenges at times. Tracked back, was fast, was pacey, going both ways. He looked dangerous. He even popped up on the left-hand side at one point. He popped up on the right. He just looked really good today, and he challenged. He looked physical. He looked everything you want a player to be, really. So I would give him... I'm going to give him an 8 as well, along with Yazbek and Eddie. I can't give him more than that, I don't think, but he could, to some degree, almost be my man of the match just because of what... I think maybe where he's come from and what he's doing now today. I think he proved a point and was really great. So, yeah, he definitely turned up today and showed... Maybe you saw that post. He has something to prove. I think really made the difference for the first time. I think actually the only thing I'd say is when Hani comes on, he looks a bit lost. I think it's more that he feels like maybe he should give it to Hani more, and I don't know if that's a friendship thing or a respect thing or a, feeling like he's above him. But I think sometimes they try to run in the same channel and things like that, and it sort of actually takes him off his stride. So I think Kasim actually plays better without Hani in the team, which is interesting. But I feel like he could almost be that role in the future, maybe like a baby Hani. But I'm not sure. When they play together, just seems to get in each other's way a little bit. I think he came on to the left-hand side and did solidly for a while before getting maybe an injury. So we don't know. He might be injured. But yeah, I'm going to give him that 8 that I said about. Okay, we then have Perseus as the final one from the starting 11.
I really enjoyed that we got to see more of Perseus this week. I think it's really difficult to judge a player based on their 4 minutes on the pitch, at the end of games, and I understand it. So it was really nice to see him get a chance to play properly. I would have loved to have seen more from him today. I don't think he was very very present necessarily, but he was definitely in the box, making runs, especially on corners, trying to get his head on it, I think trying to get in the way. So I think that was good, and I think that's been very helpful. He's just missing that kind of spark of getting his head on those balls, a bit like a Sam Surridge would do, which is, I guess, why Sam Surridge starts. But it was really nice to see him do that, and I think he's got potential. He just needs more game time, and he'll find his way in the team for sure. So I think I'll give him a 6 too.
Yeah, I think he's in the right places at times. Balls just dropped not quite right or similar things. I think you said that to me a couple of times. Okay, so substitutes. Was Muil the first one to go off and replaced by Hani?
Yeah, with the injury, yeah.
Yeah, I would give him... He looked solid. I'd give him a 6. He didn't do anything particularly outstanding. He looked dangerous. It's nice to be able to bring on a player of that caliber when you you're ahead in the game. It's quite cool. It's a good feeling that you're kind of upgrading rather than downgrading when you have to make substitution, especially because of injury. But yeah, I think I preferred the way the team was flowing without him. It's a controversial thing to say. He has his role that he plays, and I think everyone knows that you have to change how you're playing when he's on the team. And that's good and bad, I guess. but you can see he goes up the middle where he's going to drop and all this stuff, and everyone sort of adapts to him. And I think actually the team flowed better in the first half with that kind of more free-flowing element of everyone can kind of play everywhere, rather than Hani has a specific role.
Yeah, it was nice to see him come on and bring speed.
Yeah.
He brought speed, he brought technicality, he was beating players left, right and centre. But I completely agree with you. When he came on, people started to give him the ball. And that's great. Obviously, you want a player like that you trust, but giving him the ball potentially not always in the right time when there was more space down, the right-hand side or the left-hand side for another player. And so if a player like that has to come on, I totally appreciate respect. Absolutely, he's a great player. But it doesn't mean you have to do that, because sometimes his role is he's going to pull a player to allow you to go. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we had the double change, I think.
Sam and Espinosa. Okay, who do you want to do out of those? Sam?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Sam came on and did what he always does. He goes up front, he gets in the way, he had, I think within 30 seconds of him coming on, he got the ball and he was making a run kind of left of centre down towards the goal, which was great. Nothing came of it, but he did bring that kind of level of energy that you expect from a new, fresh pair of legs. He did bring in danger. I think you can tell. We were speaking to a Charlotte player at the end of the game and they were saying how, it's a little bit intimidating when you're playing kind of somewhat of a B team and then your substitutes are Espinosa, Hani and, Sam. So that was great. We saw some good corners from Hani that I think Sam tried to get his head on, but nothing outstanding. But he played well while he was doing his time. So I think 7 is fair.
Okay. Yeah. And then Espinosa, he looked hungry for it. He was definitely pointing to Lovitz to play some balls in behind and some things like that. He wanted the ball to run onto. I think he felt there was space there. But honestly, I didn't see much from him, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give him a 6.
Yeah.
And then
Reed.
The final substitute, was that Reed? Was that the final one?
Yeah, because that would have been 3.
And he came on for Kasim
He did. So Kasim was down
for ages
in the box. We originally thought he was staying there because there was going to be a penalty check, but he just stayed there for so long and then ended up going off with what looked like a toe injury, but I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully it's nothing major. So Reed Baker-Whiting came on as a left wing, I think.
Yeah, he's played there before when he's younger.
Yeah, I think he did great. He kind of came on spur of the moment.
He came on the right-hand side at points. He was then in our right-hand corner trying to waste time with us.
Yeah, he was moving around. He was getting his head on it because he's quite a tall player. So having him up front was kind of cool. And like you said, him and Sam were working really well together at the end to just waste time. And so he kind of came on, did his job, I think.
They give it away at one point and they transitioned and countered, which I was worried about, which then put us under those 2 corners, I think. But yeah, he's kind of solid. Left back on and kind of left wing. It's not uncommon to see a game out.
Sure.
What are you going to give him?
7.
7? Nice. Okay, cool. And then BJ, I'm going to give him an 8. Nice. I think this team was great. I think the way they were playing today was great. The way they set up was exactly how I would have wanted to see them play. Very controlled, dominated the game. I think he made mostly the right substitutions at the right times. I think Hani coming on is quite a disheartener for the opposition. That was kind of good. And I think the substitutes he made, I think Reed on the left wing is kind of cool. I think they're kind of obvious substitutions. Anyone would have wanted to see him was Andy Nahar. Yeah. But maybe he just doesn't feel the need to have that load. I just felt like the game could have been controlled a little bit better at the end instead of having Bauer there. But yeah, I would give him an 8.
I think he didn't have many options in the sense that we had 2 players go off with injury, so he had to make kind of in-the-moment decisions. So he didn't have the opportunity to just do whatever he wanted. I think had we not had those, it would have been nice to see changes in the defence a little bit.
It wasted some windows, I guess. You only get 3 windows for substitutes, and if you kind of have to make them, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree, yeah.
Cool. What would you give the referee today?
I don't think there was anything particularly controversial from the referees today. I think any referee makes a couple of mistakes. It's difficult. I appreciate that. We all shout that we don't like the referees, but you have to understand at the same time that sometimes it's difficult. So I actually think that they worked well, the referees today. The 2 penalties were penalties. There wasn't anything particularly that I thought was bad. So I think I'd probably give them an 8, to be honest.
Nice. And then fans, I'm going to give us a 10.
We're great.
There weren't many of us.
They weren't.
There were probably about 15 of us in the stadium. It really wasn't many at all. I was surprised. I thought there would be more fans, given it's quite relatively close. It's not close, but it's not a million miles away. But yeah, I'm going to give us a 10 because I think we had a great time.
We were loud.
We connected with a few of them, hung out with them. So yeah.
That was great.
10. Let us know your thoughts on our score predictions. Hope you enjoyed this game, and we're going to be back again with Club America. The game on Tuesday, we're going to be doing a live stream for that game. And yeah, if you want to see more Nashville SC content just like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Big TV. And we'll see you ready for the match preview for our game on Tuesday in Mexico.